reflect on grief and loss from a more personal angle today. And I think, as painful as it is, being directly affected by several losses in the last few weeks, rather than being the celebrant having not had any involvement with the family until after someone has died, and then getting to know their story, integrating into the family dynamic, understanding the family dynamic, learning about the person who has died and their impact on those who are telling the story, and the needs of those telling the story to have that story told in a certain way, and being there to offer some solace and some reassurance and some guidance, and to advocate and empower families and educate them. When I say educate, I mean kind of, in the way we say, trying to get rid of that word should. We can't have that type of music because we should have something solemn. How should we start? What normally happens at the beginning? Can people be sat? Should people be waiting outside? Should I have to walk in? Should I? And what I'd like to be able to do for families, and what I can do for families when I'm coming in right at that end stage, is advise them from a professional standpoint that there are no shoulds and there is no normal, and that anything that they want and that they feel is relevant and that represents the person they have lost and their recollections and feelings towards that person are appropriate things to do at their celebration of life, be that in a crematorium, at a graveside, a natural burial ground, in a private space or a family space, a garden, a hotel room, with or without the body of or the ashes of that person present. Whatever moment you are eulogizing or sharing stories of that person, I am there to help them find a way to tell that story in an authentic and relevant way. And I can do that, and I will do that for anyone who wants that and will find that beneficial. And I can see that I do add value to that process, and I do offer some comfort by facilitating those farewells. It's very different when you are saying farewell having been their end of life doula, and you've got to know them and you've got to know their family and you've become friends with them, and they are now, as well as knowing them in a professional capacity as their end of life doula, you are also knowing them from a position of friendship and some bigger degree, larger degree of intimacy, because you have seen them over a period of time deal with the anticipatory grief, or the fear and the pain and the changing circumstances surrounding the decline of the person that they love. The person is dealing with their own fears about death and trying to keep up with their ever-changing health decline. And the other thing that you see happen when you are in that role as an end-of-life doula is you are witnessing the suffering of the family and friends who are unable to offer any help to prevent this thing that nobody wants to happen. And when that's somebody who is dying sooner than they should, so not at that ripe old age, natural endings, it's very different. It's not no less important, no more important, no less poignant, no more poignant, but it is very different. If someone is dying and their children are still young, if someone is dying and they've only just got married, or they've just at the beginning of something, rather than having lived to a ripe old age with lots of stories, it is a very different journey to witness. But even as an end-of-life doula, witnessing the last moments of somebody who is a ripe old age, you're still getting to know and becoming part of that family dynamics. There's no way that you can be completely on the outside of it. I mean, we, as an end-of-life doula, you're probably a caring and empathetic person. Look at any nurses or hospice staff or Marie Curie people. I'm sure that they have to find themselves very attached to people, and it becomes very difficult towards the end, because you are both a professional and a friend as well by that stage. So I have been in a situation where I have been the end-of-life doula and then become friends, or been friends and then been their end-of-life doula, and then been their funeral celebrant. And it's very challenging, extremely rewarding, and a massively huge privilege to help a family through all of those stages. And then I'm here now as somebody who is just a fellow griever, grieving alongside a friend whose partner has died far too young, who was also a friend, and finding that despite all my professional training, I feel inadequate and lost and embarrassed and awkward and not enough and full of self-doubt. And I realise why and how difficult it is for family, friends, for friends of somebody who has died, why they sometimes drop away and distance themselves, because all of those things that you feel and that I am currently feeling are really uncomfortable, and that urge to cocoon yourself and move yourself away from it is really strong. So in life, we try to avoid feeling uncomfortable, but grief and sadness and are uncomfortable, and you just have to suck it up and be there, and hopefully not to say too many of the wrong things, but say them with the right intention, and be there anyway, even if you have nothing to say, and hold space and be silent, offer advice if it's asked for, try not to say too much when it's not asked for, all of those things. And that is how friends can feel when someone they care about is dealing with grief. And that is often why they withdraw. And I beg you, if you are a friend of someone who is grieving, suck it up, deal with the discomfort, and do not withdraw. These people, your friends need you. Even if you feel like you're just being a nuisance, keep telling them that you are there for when they need you.